Welcome back to Greg's Cookbook, man. You guys heard of meatballs and stuff, and the Italian spreads and Sopranos with those fat fuckers are there and stuff. Well, here's a healthier version of the meatballs. We're gonna call these the muscle balls, man. We're talking about ground turkey, just lean ground turkey. We got 0 carbs in here, 0 fat, man, just total protein coming into you. Ground turkey. It doesn't taste so good, so how are we gonna spice it up? The spice of life, I'm gonna tell you that, and what's going in there in a second. Before that, the real flavor, guys, is gonna come through these 3 elements. These 3 elements are garlic, onions, and an egg. Now with the egg, we're gonna use the entire egg, not the shell, but we're gonna use the egg yolk and the egg whites. Now the yolk has all the vitamins and minerals and stuff that are good for our body, but it also has that saturated fat, that animal fat, that's bad for your cholesterol and everything else. But the cost, the negative side of this, compared to the healthy benefit, is well worth the cost, the reward. So for our health benefits of what this egg is gonna do, we're gonna take the whole entire thing with the yolk and the whites, and this serves as our gluing factor for all these condiments with the turkey that's gonna go in there. So the egg's very crucial. 1 egg is all we need. Onion, I'm gonna go into what this is, guys, and this is these 2 guys are just so magical for your body. The health benefits, it's second to none. Garlic, for example, is a herb, and in the herbal medicine, from way back when, it's been used to treat and cure anything from like the common cold to like plagues and stuff. I mean, it's amazing health benefits here with the garlic. You can get the garlic already in the white canister, kind of like the natural garlic, or you can get them like I have here. They're already peeled. All we have to do is chop them up. So that's the garlic. The onion, I'm gonna go into some more. We're gonna chop that guy up and liquefy him. The rest of this stuff is really the condiments for the flavor and stuff. And when I say the spice of life, guys, you can take something like natural lean turkey with all that fats and stuff and really make it taste good by adding this stuff. So it's kind of like comparison to like all the hamburger meats and stuff that aren't so good for you because there's so much animal fat in there. But with the spices, we can really make it taste good, and we're gonna do that today. So what we're gonna put in there is Italian breadcrumbs. These got total of 2 grams of sugar, like 15 grams of fiber, and there's also 4 grams of carbs. So it's a very low carb, healthy breadcrumb to put in there. We got vegata, which is basically a vegetable seasoning that's going to help flavor it very nicely. We got chili powder. Chili powder helps to increase your metabolism in the body and also the immune system. But be careful on how much you put in there because a little bit goes a long way. And we don't want to make this thing like, these are muscle balls, not great balls of fire. You know what I mean? So be very careful. It's all kind of like personally dependent on how much spice you like. So I don't like too much. You won't see too much going in there. And then we got parsley and black pepper. So those are the champions at a table that's going to go inside our body to give us a supply of nutrition to win the nutritional war. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put everything in a pot here, guys, and then we're going to formulate little tiny balls. Not those motherfucking balls, but small balls, like kind of like half the size of a golf ball. And we'll do a bunch of them. And you can serve this a lot of different ways. But the way I like to do it is just kind of sit down with the game, a plate of muscle balls with a fork or toothpick, and just eat them straight up. You can put them on a bed of greens, baby spinach. You can, if you like pasta and stuff, and you want to go into that carb style, which I would not suggest because you really don't need those kind of carbs, the starchy carbs. You can put that on top of that. You can put it on top of salads. You can serve as hors d'oeuvres. If you have people coming over for an event, a lot of different ways. Or you can eat them straight up like we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the ground turkey up. Just drop them in the bowl here. And then we're going to start adding everything else. So the first thing we're going to do is take our garlic, guys. Now I don't know if you guys have a garlic grinder, but we're going to take 1 little package of this is all we're going to need. And we'll cut this open. We're going to pour all these little guys out. And we're just going to try to crush them up, There's nothing worse when you're cooking with garlic. I mean, it adds such flavor to it, but if you don't grind it up and someone goes to eat one of these little, muscle balls and gets a chunk of garlic like that in there, dude, they're going to need a whole tube of toothpaste to get their breath back. So I like to use a little garlic grinder here. It's a little like compression. You put the garlic in there like that, and then you're going to squeeze each one, and it kind of just comes out. You get a little forearm workout. As it comes out, you start kind of shaving these things up and kind of nicely liquefies it. Probably put more than 1 in at a time here. And just kind of press it down. There we are. Put some more in there. Now if you guys want, you just grab a knife and just start slicing and dicing this thing if you want to. But as you can see, this little grinder really saves a lot of the work. That's a big thing with when you're cooking, guys. Especially, you know, the timing's everything. So you want to make sure you create that demand in the gym, but then you give the supply in a timely fashion. So when the body really needs it, it's delivered for it. It's kind of like, you know, if you're outside and it's really cold and you really want a sweater, and it's nighttime, but you don't get the sweater until the morning when the sun's out and it's nice and warm, you no longer need the sweater. Same kind of thing with your body, you know, when you're after the gym, that's when your body needs that sweater for the warmth, you know? So if you wait like 4 hours to eat, you know, you're not gonna really get the benefit of all the effort you did in the gym. Timing, guys, everything. Okay, so that's our garlic right there. Dump that guy into our pan. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these, the onions here, and we're gonna slice them up. Try to make them as liquefied as possible. Grab our knife here. The way you cut the onion, we're only gonna need about half the onion. So we're gonna first cut the stem off here. This is kind of like the foundation of the onion. So we're gonna cut this guy off right there. Throw that guy away. And then we only need half the onion. So we'll take half of it, leaving the other stem on it to hold it true. So when we put it back in the refrigerator, it's still good to go. All right, so just peel the skin off on the outside here. Take that last shell of it off. Once you get the skin off here, now we're just gonna slice it up and liquefy it as best as possible. So we're gonna go like vertical and horizontals. And put it back together here. Come the other side. I got new knives, you know, so here's the deal. I got this fucking machete knife here. This badass little motherfucker. Now there ain't nothing like, you know, feeding the Napoleonic complex in yourself than a nice machete in your hand. So we're gonna work this machete a little bit. Now, you guys have heard the theory that onions can make your eyes water. You guys ever wonder why that is? It's that the reason, here's the theory behind it. There's an enzyme in onions called alanine, I believe it's called. I might be saying it wrong, check it up. But there's that enzyme and that's natural in the onions. Once that's crushed, it's kind of like styrofoam. Together it's fine for the environment, but once you crack the styrofoam, chemicals are released into the ozone layer, which puts holes in the ozone layer. Same with the onion. The alanine, like my eyes are starting to feel it already. Once you chop it or crush it like I'm doing right now, that enzyme's released. And it just comes up, my eyes are seriously starting to, it's crazy. But that's what causes the natural eye watering. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's the enzyme alanine that's being released in the onion that causes your eyes to start watering. And I'm kind of feeling it right now, man. Maybe if I get a little closer, you'll see you cry a little bit, see how much alanine we can get going here. I don't know if it's crying enough yet, but I'll tell you, they're starting to get, I feel irritation in them. So, get them, whew, wow. Fucking alanine's the motherfucker, guys. Alright, that's about good. And if you look at my eyes right now, they're definitely not natural. It's like I had a little emotional crisis here in this cooking session here. But it's the alanine, my man, alanine. So we're gonna grab all these onions, guys, and we're gonna dump them right into our pan also. Whew. Okay, next, what are we gonna put in there? We're gonna put our egg in there, and then we'll put all of our condiments, our spices of life. So bam, egg goes in there. Make sure you try not to get any shells. Good. Now this is all kind of just personal preference on how much of this stuff you want to put in there. And the more you do it, the more you kind of get to know your feel and your flow of it all. But this is garlic salt. Nice flavor here with garlic salt. Just put a nice helping of that in there. Garlic salt's good. We're gonna put our chili powder in there. Again, not too much, just enough for the taste. But don't kill it. Little sprinkles here, our parsley. Bam. little black pepper. Yeah. Already starting to smell good here. Regatta, our vegetable seasoning. Nice. And then Italian breadcrumbs. This gives it a nice texture and stuff. Alright. Now what we're going to do is get our hands nice and clean. I'm just going to mash this guy up, man. Just kind of stir it all up. Get nice and messy in there. If you guys got one of those little spoon things that whip it around, use that too. It kind of feels kind of soothing. Just put your hands in there, man. It's like Play-Doh and shit. All right. It's looking pretty solid, man. We're ready to go. So now what we're going to do is start making these little meatballs. Put them on our plate. Before we start putting them onto our plate, we're going to get a pan and put olive oil in there. Start heating that up. Because the olive oil's got to be, I mean, not a boil, but it's got to be nice and warm. That's where we're going to cook all this stuff through. The bigger the meatball, guys, the longer you have to cook it. That's why I like doing little small ones. It's faster, and you get the same nutrition out of it. So let's wash the hands off real fast. And then put our pan here. So we'll turn our guy on. Got it nice and high here. Take our lid off. Olive oil, maybe like a ½ inch on the bottom. So it's a good bit of olive oil, guys. A nice pan's good depending how many meatballs you're using. Now you wouldn't want like a real small little tiny pan if you have like 30 meatballs going in there where they're stacked on top of each other. You like them all to be hitting the oil at the same time so they cook evenly. So put the lid back on there, let that kind of heat up and get ready as we start to make our little balls here. So this is the fun part, guys. I'm just gonna kind of roll it around, you know, make like little tiny balls. You can make them small. Actually, I make them a little smaller than that, but got a lot of them here, so might make them a little bigger just to speed it up a little bit. So here we go with the meatballs, the muscle balls. There they are. Might have made a little too much here. I'm gonna have like fucking 100 goddamn balls, looks like. Also, as you're doing this and you start making these little balls, guys, you can start to kind of like the crab meat when you're trying to make crab cakes or something. You kind of feel for the shells. So what we're kind of doing is feeling for any kind of large obstructions in here, called onion or garlic, to prevent that from, you know, having an issue with any person that's eating it. So you get to feel it out as you're making all these little tiny balls. So we'll cut right now, and we'll be right back with you, and I'll have all these things made up and get ready to cook. Alright guys, hey, before I was going to make all these things, and you know, I was rushing when I was doing it, but there's a really imperative point here when you're making meatballs, and that is that you have to wet your hands. So you get a little water in your hands like that, that's all you gotta do. Don't dry it off, just kind of like slap it dry, and that water keeps the meatballs from sticking to your hand. As you saw earlier when I was making them, they got all over my hand, and when I put them down, they didn't look so attractive to eat. It looked like they had some kind of like they were thorns and stuff. So now they're a lot smoother. So make sure you wet your hands, guys, when you're doing this. It's going to make the process so much faster, and then the balls will be a little smoother on the external and the outside of the circumference of it all. So a few more to do here, and then we will drop it in the pan. It's heating up. Make sure you keep looking back at that pan so the oil isn't burning or anything. 3, 2, and 1. Maybe a little more for this little skunky one. Okay, so there are our muscle balls. Clean our hands off real fast, dump them in there, and you kind of, how long do you cook them? It's kind of on your flavor. You know, it's not like the turkey. You couldn't eat it raw if you had to, so you don't need to like be careful. You have to cook all the way through for health benefits. But you kind of want, like right now they're kind of pinkish, so they're all gonna be nice and kind of brownish when we're finished. So we're gonna come over here, put them in our pan, just kind of just drop them in there. Gotta drop them fast before all that grease starts splattering up on you. That's a bad day. Well, the olive oil, not grease. And then all we're gonna do is just periodically we're gonna come here with the utensil and just roll them over, so we get they're cooked on all sides. Shake them around a little bit. Get in there, buddy. Everybody's got to find a home. It's like musical chairs. Music's running out of chairs. Come on. Yeah, they all find a home. Okay, cool. So put that lid on there. We'll come back in a few minutes. Roll them over a little bit, and then we'll put them on. We'll pull them out. When we pull them out, guys, we're gonna grab a towel here because there is olive oil on it. When we pull them out, we're gonna put them on this plate here with a towel and let all of them drain on there, dry out a little bit, and then they'll be ready to serve with toothpicks. So come soon, muscle balls. Keep stirring them around. Make sure everyone, all sides, get a little love. A little muscle balls, yeah. Hi guys. Cool thing about like anytime you're cooking something, like as it's cooking, it gives you time to kind of clean everything up and get you ready. So when the meal's done, you can sit there and enjoy it and not have some, cleanup work to do. So these guys are almost ready. We're just gonna kind of roll them all over a little bit. Probably ready to eat them right now, actually. We're gonna give them a little more love, man. Turn them all over, get a little brown on each side. Now, you guys also, when you're making these, if you want to add a little more texture to them and get that real brown look, what you would do is that at the end of the meatball, you can take another egg, a little bit of water, and make a little bit called an egg whitewash. And then you're gonna kind of roll in the egg whitewash, and then put a kind of a plate full of breadcrumbs, and then roll in the breadcrumbs. And then you have that nice kind of brown taste, look all the way over, that most meatballs have, but that's just adding more carbs to it, even though we have the low carb Italian breadcrumbs. It's done its job for us, holding it all together. We don't need to add any more insult to injury with it, right? So we didn't do it that case this time. We're looking good, man. I think we roll them all over, give it another, 3 minutes or so, and then we're ready to eat. So when I was saying like you want to make enough so everybody has like a place at the table, that's correct right here. If you look at this, there's no ball on top of any other ball. Everything right here, if you look at it, that means cameraman, come look at it. There we are. Everything's flat. See, it's not like one's on top of the other. You don't have some doohickey kind of just up here on the high ground. No, everyone's down low, getting a little swimming lesson. So 5 more minutes. Okay, we're done, guys. Turn this guy off. Turn the fan on before the smoke alarm fucking activates again. Now I'm just gonna take each one off and just put it on our plate here. Bam! Let that guy relax. Now when you have olive oil like this, guys, don't pour it down the drain and everything else. Let it stop. Let it totally calm down and let the temperature release. And then you're just gonna pour it into a trash can or just wipe off with a napkin. Don't start pouring it down your sink and stuff hot. It's not good for the piping, I've heard. Okay, so now we're done with that. All we're gonna do is transfer our little balls onto our plate. The best way for these guys, honestly, is like to use it as an hors d'oeuvre. You got people over watching the game or something, just set this out on the bar or on the patio, put some toothpicks, right in the middle like this, and kind of just put them all around it, and then have them, have at it. If you want to sprinkle a little fat-free mozzarella cheese on them, you can. If you want to put a side bowl of cheese right there, go ahead. A lot of different ways you can slice and dice this guy. But grab a couple toothpicks and kind of just stick them in there. People get the idea on how to eat them. They're not morons. Well, I don't know. If they are, I don't know why they're coming to your house. Cool, so we're done. So we got here. This meal right here, guys. The muscle balls. Everything our body needs. Good stuff here. Tons of protein. All protein, very low carb. We got a little bit of carbs in the Italian breadcrumbs. That's about it. Good onions and good garlic in there. Really good for antioxidants, thinning the blood out, blood pressure and cholesterol. We have that one egg in there, which has protein and a lot of vitamins to help, be the glue to all this in there. And we have a lot of condiments that go in there. And that's our meal, man. It's fast, easy, very easy cleanup. Makes a great hors d'oeuvre. Give it a shot. The muscle balls. Might be a little hot here. We test it out. Oh yeah, it's hot. Oh. It's fucking delicious. Put it on the menu. Let it cool down first, and then put it on the menu. It is so good, and I'm sorry that I don't give you that satisfying, winning smile of approval here, because it is a little hot, man. But I mean, it's fucking still steaming. That's why it's like it's hot. But what's inside here? You can see a little onion right there. I mean, boom! The muscle ball. Grab your nuts. Gonna put helping to eat right. Thanks for watching. All day long, man. Delicious. I'm gonna enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Greg Plitt, helping you eat right.